Right there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We haven't done one of these for a fair bit of time. Hope everyone is doing well. So this is the AKM podcast. We do this normally every single Monday, but we had a Monday off last week, and then I think the Monday before we did the last one with a week of time off as well because I was off myself. So we're back now. Hopefully, getting a bit more of a routine. We've got the window coming up, so we'll have a few more bits and bots to talk about, all being well. But other than that, I'll hand it over to Shauna. Have you got anything you'd like to say, Shauna, before we get going?
I'm kind of a little bit worse for wear, to be honest with you. I was in the beautiful city of Cork there at the weekend, and I went to see a fantastic tribute band that I want you all to check out. On Instagram, they're called Seattle Grunge EXP. And if you check on Facebook, Seattle Grunge Experience, and they've been around for 10 years. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary. They basically cover, anything from the Seattle grunge scene, anything from Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, even doing a bit of Smashing Pumpkins and whatever. But I've seen them in Dublin. I've seen them in Cork. I've seen them in Galway. I'm going to see them in May again in Dublin. So they are by far one of the greatest tribute bands, and they do a fantastic show. So if ever you're in Ireland, we had someone from Liverpool come over, and he says, thank you, Sean. He says, I wouldn't have known of these guys if it hadn't been for you. And I've been hearing about them for ages, and I've always wanted to go to one of their shows, and they're absolutely amazing. So Seattle Grunge Experience, or the Seattle Grunge Experience, amazing. That's all.
That's good, mate. Yeah. A big shout out to them. Obviously, Shauna, you enjoyed the time and everything like that, and maybe if we get a chance, we'll go together one day. I'll be well, maybe.
Absolutely. I'm dying to death though, because as soon as they bash out what you call it, Nirvana Harp Shaped Box, which is one of my favorite songs, but they're just amazing. Like, you're incredible, really, really. Yeah, I can't speak highly of them. I can't speak highly anyway because my throat is fucking gone. But so big shout out to them.
Yeah, my throat as well. It's not too good today as well, guys. So if you have any issues with like how we sound, that's what it's down to. I've had really bad hay fever the past couple of days. I've actually had to get an inhaler and everything. It's well bad. We've got Jen with us already straight away. We've got LFC Spectre as well. All right, Spectre, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Crack the flange. Jesus, that's a different song altogether.
And Jen says, so who is coming in then? I would guess Hoosen and Kirkes. Spectre, the world's greatest mod. Yes, the world's greatest mod. We'll get to that, Jen. We'll get to that about incomings potentially, because we actually were thinking about asking for like questions from you guys to discuss and everything a bit later on. Also, actually, before actually going further, I need to just also give a shout out to Carl Russell for joining and becoming a member of the channel. I only knew it when we logged on here just then. Like, I didn't get a notification or anything to say that we had the new member or anything like that. So yeah, shout out to Carl Russell for joining yesterday, I think, by the looks of it. I sent out JT's giveaway today as well, and this is the one that's up for grabs next month, guys. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's Connor Bradley tackling Mbappe. That will be the members giveaway for the end of this month. So if you want to have a chance of winning that or getting that, it's $1.99, $2.99 a month, whichever one you want to do. You are in for a chance of winning that. So then, without any further ado, we got Scott with us as well. All right, we're doing well, Scott, mate.
Evening, Scott. Hope you're okay, mate.
So I guess then, Shauna, because you didn't get really much of a chance to talk about the game yesterday, we'll just quickly touch on that. I mean, for me, I thought it were boring. I thought it were lethargic, and I think it's been the same for the past few months now. I do kind of think that we're kind of like falling onto this title. Like, nobody's really, and we've done well all season, but there's no one pushing us at the end. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I have a sneaky feeling even if we lost the remaining games of this season, I reckon we'd still win it.
Well, I tell you, I was in a pub, a really, really mental pub in Cork, and this guy picked up on my friend's Scouse accent, and he said, "You all Liverpool fans?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he said, "Oh," and we're going to win the league. We started singing, "We're going to win the league," and then like that, we're going to fucking up. We're going to bottle it up. We're going to bottle it. And this guy thought or thinks that we are going to bottle the league. Now, like at the end of the day, you know, people. I've heard people going on about, oh, you know, it's such a poor season. That's why Liverpool are winning the league. They always try and put a dampener, and they always try and shit on our parade, you know, and always try and put an asterisk on something. You can put an asterisk on my dick. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, we are winning this league, and it's down to, you know, we have put in the performance. Even when we didn't play well, we managed to scrape a win. And yeah, over the last, I'd say, month or so, or maybe longer, maybe after the Plymouth Argyle game, we've kind of, you know, scraped by, or kind of crawled on by, and not really put in good performances. But that could be down to a variety of things, down to internationals, down to fatigue, down to, I suppose, all the speculation about contracts. You know, I was expecting big things from Salah there. You know, now the fact that his contract has been signed. And good evening, Sean.
Even Sean.
Like at the end of the day, you know, he didn't play all that well. He didn't play all that badly either. Some of his, you know, um, passing was, and his, you know, touch of the ball was incredible, especially in the first half. Didn't do too well in the second. But I thought more so than ever, I thought we actually did all right in the first half. We
Oh
just
yeah.
didn't. We just didn't convert it, and I think that's where a number nine comes in. That we're kind of lacking at the moment. I don't think Jota is all at the races either.
Nah, I saw your comment on Jota, and I agree with that. To be fair, with Jota, what do you think about the Nunes stuff? Because obviously he didn't play, and from what I've seen, people are saying he didn't feel well, but he
Yeah,
was still sat at the benches and that stuff like that, not feeling well. Do you know what I mean? Some people even said it might have been down to his baby just being born, but I think that I even said that I think myself, but Gavin corrected me and said that it actually happened like a couple of weeks ago, so it wasn't anything to do with that. So I don't know. Like, do you reckon he's been dropped, or do you reckon it is just generally that he wasn't feeling well?
well, one of the friends that I went off to Cork with, big shout out to Cork, by the way. He said to me, he says, "Well, right, if he's not well, what's he doing on the bench? Why is he actually attending the game? If he's not fit, not well, what's he doing sitting there? Like, if he's got like the flu, or, you know, bad hay fever, like yourself and myself, what's he doing there?" So, you know, he's off the impression, as am I, that he's been told to look for a club.
Oh, I got told that ages ago, mate.
He
100%.
got told ages ago, but
Yeah.
I reckon it's like he's been told, right, here's the situation. Um, get your affairs in order because you're leaving Liverpool. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, I think McAllister had a good game as well, to be fair.
McAllister
Yesterday.
has a fantastic game, and the one thing about McAllister is he gets bloody knocked about.
Yeah. I mean, I got some numbers here for you from Squawker.
Yeah,
They're saying that he's one of the most underrated players in the league this season. His numbers against West Ham, he had 9 crosses, 7 touches in the opposition box, 7 duels won, 4 shots, 3 tackles, 2 fouls won, 2 shots on target. He won possession back twice, created 2 chances and an assist, and his heat map is pretty much all over the pitch. I mean, I know that there was like some stuff that came out about either him or his dad or whatever, talking about Real Madrid. Now, you know, we've done this show for months now. I've said for ages that I wouldn't be surprised if McAllister moves on this summer. I'm not saying anything out of that stuff that came out, but I don't know. There's a sneaky little thing I've got about him, and it's not him like saying I think he's sneaky, but I just have a feeling that he could be one that, even though he's really good and everything like that, he could be one that I think, if the Diaz move doesn't happen, where if he don't get sold because he only wants to go to Barcelona, for instance, or whatever, and that doesn't happen because they can't afford it, I won't be surprised if Liverpool try and move him on. You know, I don't know, just to get some money and to help.
I don't know. All right, Martin.
Martin,
I don't really know. Like, I hope McAllister stays because I think I think that's right. I think that's a fair and accurate account of him as a player. I think he is underrated.
He's like Ronaldo back in the day.
But I think he's almost. I think he's better. He's far better. I think his pass and just the way he holds it up. I think he's one of my favorite players on the team, on the squad. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I mean, I think when you have him and Gravenberch playing together, you've got quite a lethal double pivot, shall we say? But you need to bring somebody in as well. I mean, Szoboszlai could potentially play there as well, in all fairness. But then you have to drop one of them, and you've got Jones as well.
Were you surprised to see Szoboszlai dropped?
No. No. I don't think so. I think him and who was the other one? I think Robbo that were dropped as well. I think they both had a bit of a mare last time they played. So I think they needed to be dropped. And then it's not coincidental that when Robbo comes on, he scores an own goal, albeit wasn't his fault. Like, even Van Dijk's come out and said it wasn't his fault. Like, Robbo shouted, "I've got it," and Van Dijk still went for it.
The fucking communication, yeah.
But
I mean,
what I'm saying, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button when you're coming in. There's a fair few of you watching now, and there's only a couple of likes. Make sure you get them likes up with the algorithm.
And share it, guys. Share the link about it. Get people.
Spectre's got a question for you.
Yeah.
Could you beat Rory McIlroy with a round of golf? I put my money on Sean, or he's our Happy Gilmore.
I heard there's going to be a sequel to Happy Gilmore, which
I've seen the trailer for it. It looks quite funny.
I love Adam Sandler. To be honest with you, I went and I had a game of pitch and putt for the first time in, I'd say, you're talking over a decade, and I was shocking, absolutely shocking. Now, I was eaten by flies, and it was driving me up the wall. So I don't think I would beat Rory McIlroy or anyone. Yeah, I'm just. My mother had golf clubs, and she was better than me. Now, she doesn't play now, but she was better than me, I don't know, 20 years ago. So there's not a chance of me. Yeah.
I've never been any good at golf, me, to be fair. I've always been a bit pants at it. I've got a childhood memory where my mate said we used to play on the field, went back, just hit the ball as far as we could. And my mate was like, "Don't hit your ball, I'm going to go get it." His ball. And I just whacked it, and I whacked him straight back at head with my ball. So that's the memory I've got from playing golf.
I have to shout for even when I'm playing crazy golf. So, I mean, there you go. It's yeah, I mean, it's dreadful. I mean, like, I went off with my cousin and their kids to a driving range, and they were laughing at me. The kids were laughing at me. So, yeah, they were like, "Is your big belly getting in the way, Sean?" I was like, "Thanks, guys." So, yeah.
Question there for you from Spectre, but he says here, "But you're wearing your famous green jacket today, Sean."
This is actually relatively new, courtesy of the company that I work for. They gave me a lovely €500 voucher, and by God, did I spend it. So I went and I got lovely aftershave, and I got this lovely jacket, and a few other things. So, no, this is not for winning anything. Well, I suppose, job satisfaction and getting a nice little voucher. So, no.
Bon asks, is McIlroy Ireland's greatest sports person?
I I think there would be a good shout out for that. Probably of the year, without a doubt. Of all time, that's a very good question. I'd say he'd be up there, the top.
Who would
10.
be up there then? All right, then. If you had to pick 3, who would be up there? So, to be fair, I'm really bad at this. So for me, I'd be picking someone like Roy Keane and Niall Quinn, maybe.
Yeah, well, Niall Quinn wouldn't be fucking winning it because from a player point of view, he was. I mean, he played for City when City were shitty. Well, they're shitty now, but he didn't really win much at a player level, where Roy Keane did. So you could put Roy Keane probably up there, absolutely. You could certainly put Katie Taylor up there. I wouldn't put Conor McGregor in any category of anything unless you had Ireland's embarrassments or Irish embarrassments. Brian O'Driscoll, you certainly would put some rugby stars up there, definitely. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know any, so I couldn't tell you. Sean says here, Gravenberch has played 2,741 minutes in the league and 783 in the Champions League. No wonder he is done. Yeah, I agree, mate. That's why we probably should have signed a number 6 in January. But remember, like, even though we're going to win the league, Sean, remember, we were told back in January that we had the strongest squad in the league and we can challenge on all 4 fronts, is what the journalists were telling us. And then literally after that article, I think it might have been like a couple of weeks or so, went out of the FA Cup, then we went out of the Champions League, or Carabao, and then Carabao Cup. Well, yeah, you're right, mate. Like, we need to bring somebody in for backup for your old Ryan.
The funny thing that I heard, and it was again on the fan debate on what was it, the overlap, and it's not.
I'd love to get on that, mate.
I'd love to get on it, but you know you won't get on it because you have a difference of opinion to the clique. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, you've got all these people that give out about the negativity on social media. Yet that's where they make their money, is on social media and media in general. But like they were talking about bringing in a player in January or bringing in a number 6. And Garrett Roberts, aka Robbo Hutton, I don't know why he has an alias or whatever, but whatever. He's from the late challenge, and he was also part of Anfield Rap, which I'm not a massive fan of. Not a fan of at all. I won't lie to you. But he went and he says, "Well, can you imagine a player, looking from the outside, looking in?" And saying, I'm not going to get my game. Why would I sign for that club? Now, that's a ridiculous comment to make. And for someone, all right, Gareth, for someone to make a statement like that, what happened to competing for places? Like, it was what Stevie G said there a few years back. He says, whether they're my teammates or not, when I get in, they're not coming back. What happened to actually competing for your place on the team? That's what it's all about. There shouldn't be a player that comes into a club and like Lenny Euro, he wants to be guaranteed first team football. You've got to fucking earn it. And that's why United are in the shitter, because they've all got these divas who think that they have a God-given right to be first team players. You got to be given that fucking right. You got to fight for it. So this bullshit of saying, well, no one would want to sign for Liverpool because they've got Gravenberch and they've got a fantastic team already, and it's going to be very difficult for them to get on the side. That's a ridiculous statement to make.
Yeah, for me, like you want players that are going to come in and be like, yeah, you might have an established number 6 there. You haven't seen me play it. I can take that place from you. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want. I want someone to come in and be like,
Absolutely. Oh yeah, Gravenberch is good, is he? Yeah, really? Yeah. Well, get a load of me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Gravenberch, you're looking comfortable in that position. Yeah, yeah, right. Well, let's see how you're comfortable now with me nibbling at your feet. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Instead of this bullshit fucking excuse that's fed to you, to kind of appease the clique, that, oh well, we're a Liverpool Football Club, we do things differently, and we don't need to bring in a player in January, and January is always the hardest transfer window. If we brought in more players, you're then strengthening up the squad. It's not about just buying players for the sake of buying players. It's about strengthening the squad and having competition. If you Because that's how you get the best of your players.
100%.
So
100%.
it's utter rubbish saying that. Utter rubbish.
100%, mate. 100%. Gareth says, when do you think the league will be mathematically won? I think it'll be Arsenal against Palace. He thinks that Arsenal lose to them midweek. Is that? Let's have a look at that one. Have a get the fixtures up while we're doing it. We could win it this weekend if Ipswich obviously beat Arsenal and we win our game as well.
All right, Richard the Red.
Let's have a look at this thing. So what's happening?
There's some fantastic comments here, lads. Keep it up. We will get through them.
Yeah, so we could technically win it this weekend against if we beat Leicester and Ipswich beat Arsenal. But you said Palace. When do they play them? Let's have a look. Next Wednesday, right? Okay. So they play against Palace next Wednesday. So if they were to lose that, we would then have to beat Tottenham. We'd have Tottenham at home. So we could do
I think Tottenham are going to be easy pickings. A friend of mine calls the Spurs manager the Aussie Brendan Rodgers because he's full of bullshit, and I you know what, I love that analogy.
I've heard the Brisbane Bielsa as well.
Yeah, exactly. What you call it? Spectre says, looking slick, Shano, ladies man. I don't know. I my check is in the post for you for saying that. Thanks.
We've got to show that on screen, haven't we? We've got to show that one on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Scott says, with Gravenberch's minutes, I do think Slot should have utilised Endo more, irrelevant of if he's not his type of six. He needed to rotate that position more. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
he's becoming a bit of a cult
rest,
hero,
man.
isn't he?
You what, sorry?
He's becoming a bit of a cult hero, Endo. I mean, he gets stuck in when he gets on the pitch.
Yeah.
Really does.
I do think he'll be sold this summer. We'll get to Jen's question in a bit, actually, because we're coming up to some stuff in a bit. So, all right, Richard the Red, mate. I know Sean, I said hi already, but I didn't get a chance to say it. Sean says, Shankly said, I want players to fight and give their all, even if there's nothing to fight for. Exactly, mate. And I just think that. Do you think I want to actually ask this question as well? Because I know you wanted me to do a video about the poll thing that came out from Liverpool, and I opened it up, mate. I ain't gonna lie, that document, when I loaded it up, I was like, I am not going through all that. I can't be asked. I could not be bothered going through all that. But the atmosphere at Anfield lately, even Carragher was calling it out this weekend. He must have mentioned it at least 5 times about how quiet Anfield was. And they were saying, like, is it down to the style of play? It's a bit more slower. It's not like it was under Jurgen, blah, 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 whatever. But I think this has been going on for years and years and years. And I'm going to say something, and I don't know if people are going to agree or disagree, but this thing of saying that it's down to too many tourists or people that come for the one game or whatever, I've got this to say. There is around 25,000 season ticket holders. Am I right in saying that? Something around about that number. So there should be 25,000 people that go to every single game, which is round about maybe just a little bit under the capacity of the stadium. So them people that go to every single game, you should be the people, in my opinion, that are setting the example. You should be the one who says, right, this is Anfield. This is what we do. Get the songs going. Even if nobody else is fucking chanting and doing all this other stuff, they're all sat there quiet. Keep doing it. Keep going. Because at the end of the day, it's down to everybody why the atmosphere is shit. It's not down to one group of people. It's down to everybody. Everybody has to get behind it.
Yeah.
And if you've got a season ticket and you've got I would say, the blessing to go to Anfield every weekend, every Champions League game, whatever, then you should probably be singing your heart out a little bit.
You really need to do a timestamp on this and release this as a separate video, because one of the biggest pet peeves that I have with a lot of Liverpool YouTubers that are based in Liverpool or are classed as local Reds are those that talk about tourists, those that publish or record or take pictures of other fans. 46% of the Liverpool fan base live in Liverpool, which means the majority of the fan base lives outside of Liverpool. 443,500 fans, or Irish men and women and children, are Liverpool fans in Ireland. And I know of one particular person in, let's say, the Dublin 15 area who is well known by everyone in Liverpool. And he gets disrespected by a particular YouTuber who was doing Irish tours in Dublin, in Cork, in Belfast, and they show little or no respect to this man who is great friends with some of the legends that have played for Liverpool. Now, there is a narrative that is being pushed by these channels to blame the tourists. And I think if you're sitting on your fucking laurels and you have a camera phone and you're recording how someone else's reaction to a game, you are part of the fucking problem. If you have time enough to do that, you're part of the problem. The last time I was in Anfield, no one looked for a passport. No one said, oh, okay, you're Irish, so I reckon you're going to be quiet today. All right? Utter bollocks. So anyone that is coming out, and guys, this is the great thing about AKM LFC. It's inclusive of everybody. It doesn't say, well, okay, you're a local, so therefore you mean more to Liverpool than someone over in Japan. That's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. The thing is people now need to wise up to these channels that are putting out the narrative, and also are representatives of Spirit of Shankly, and are saying it's down to the tourists, because of the fact that the tourists come over and they're there and they're recording and they're on their phones and they're not singing, they're not making the banners, and it's usually the locals that sing the songs and whatever. That's not true at all. The fields of Anfield Road is off it's basically off an Irish song, The Fields of Athenry. So to give two fingers to the majority of the fan base, which is outside of Liverpool, is a great disservice to this club and to Bill Shankly and everything that Bill Shankly stood for. So when you use the name Shankly in Spirit of Shankly, you have an absolute responsibility to adhere to what he believed in and his morals, and to exclude anyone and to come out and say that the atmosphere is down to the tourists. Fucking prove it.
Well, you can't, can you? I mean,
They can't.
What? Sean Black, you've become a member of the channel, mate. Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate that so much.
Thank you,
Cheers,
Sean.
Mate. You can't prove that, mate. But it's down to everybody for me. Like,
it is down to everyone, but it's
like
not.
Scott says here. Scott says he was at the Jurgen Klopp farewell evening last season, sat near someone from one of them channels, and they didn't watch a thing. They just recorded the entire evening. Like,
there you go. There you go.
I mean, I get it. Like, you're making content for your channel, blah, 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 whatever. I get it. But this is, I think sometimes people need to like live in the moment. You know, when we went to Anfield last year, last month, I didn't once get this out. Didn't get it out once.
I got it out. That sounds really bad, especially if anyone is hearing me outside. I got it out maybe 3 or 4 times.
Is Muscusi around?
Muscusi is around. All right, Muscusi.
I wonder why he popped up.
I
thought, sure, I'm getting it out.
It was so funny. I was on a Teams call in work, and we're bringing in a new system, and I says, I put the hand up on Teams, and I just blurted out, I can't get it up, and I actually just started laughing because I just realized what I said. So there you go. But like none of the I wonder what would happen if Scott recorded that person using their phone. God knows, and what that would have been like. So look, I'm not pontificating at all. I'm saying that there is I think modern day football, I think, and modern day fans, I think local or global or whatever, they very much go on the pace of the game and the events of the game more so than shout their heads off for 90 minutes. And that's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with nationality or whatever. There's people that have spent a lot of fucking money to get over to Anfield, and it is the highlight of their day. So, at the highlight of their year. So, for fucking anybody to turn around and say, "Oh, it's the fucking tourists," it's not borderline racist. It is just pure out racist.
See, and this is not going to work. This right here, like, sorry, Mike Reg, we'll get to you. You're on about racism here, and I'm reading what Muscusi's putting, and I'm like laughing. And you're going, "It's racist," and then I'm on screen going, "Oh fucking hell." What was I going to say? So yeah, Mighty Reds here. Sorry, he says that his brother was at the game the other week. Was his first game at Anfield, and he doesn't have a single video from the game because he's too busy singing his heart out. The tourist thing is a cop out. Yeah, I agree, mate. 100%. 100% agree with that, mate. And good to have you with us, Brandon, mate. Full shot with that. Is that what you were doing, mate, when you was at work? Yeah.
Fake taxi. It's good stuff. That.
Have a mate who's one of those content creators who recorded at the game. They don't watch through their phone. The issue lies where you have the general ad tickets getting sold on for hospitality. That's what you've mentioned as well, isn't it?
That's one of the issues, Ben. That's one of the issues. But you also have, I mean, there's many issues here. I'm not just saying, and I don't know what content creator that you're speaking about, but I can, I'm only going off what is said in the chat. So I don't know who the fuck Scott was talking about there. I'm sure he'll tell me. But at the end of the day, there are content creators that will blame this solely on tourists. The other issue that you have is you've got season ticket holders selling their ticket for a day trip for their fellow Liverpool supporters, and these companies are charging an arm and a leg. Now, that should not happen. If you have a season ticket you should not be selling it off to another club or another. You shouldn't be selling it to a company and making money off it. Shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's, but again, stuff like that as well. It's just all. It's the way the world is now, mate. Sometimes, to be fair, of all this corporate stuff and everything like that, and it's the way it's all going to go anyway. But end of the day, I just think.
What's he saying?
Oh God! End of the day, I think you've just got to you. I just think that the people that are the season ticket holders that go every week have to be the ones that set the example. If this is someone's first time going, like, and it might have been their dream to get there and everything like that, but some people might be like, oh, I don't want to be the one to start a song. I don't want to be the one, because when do we do it type thing? Do you know what I mean? Like socially awkward or whatever. But if they've got everyone around them singing and everything like that, then they'll join in. Like, I don't know. I mean, you can never fault, you'll never walk alone. Like that, that's fine, like all the time. But it's the bits in between where you can see that the team are struggling. Like, do you remember back in maybe when Klopp, when was this being like maybe 2018, 19, maybe 2020, something like that? Where it was always like, we want to do the second half, and we've done it for years anyway, like going to the Kop. And people used to always say the Kop would suck the ball into the net. Do you know what I mean? That seems to have gone. Do you know what I mean? So, what did Ben come back with here? Sorry. He couldn't agree more. Half the time, it's old fellas who don't sing or do anything. I had it 2 years ago at City where he got bollocked by an old fella for getting angry because we were 4-1 down. What the fuck? You got angry because we were 4-1 down, mate? Jesus. I remember when I used to go to Newcastle away a lot to Newcastle away, because my dad used to be able to get his tickets up there, and I remember being up in fucking. I don't know if you've ever been to St James's Park, but the away end is right up in the gods, like it's miles up, right?
Yeah.
And this was back when Kenny Dalglish was manager for the second time round, and I remember it was. I can't remember who scored, to be fair. Was it Raheem Sterling and Suarez? Something like that. Anyway, we won the game, and there was a smoke bomb going off outside of me. This lad jumped on my back, and I nearly went over end, and my dad had to grab hold of me and pull me back. Like, it was mental, absolutely mental up there, right? But I bet it's not like that now. I bet, I don't know, maybe Ben, maybe I'm wrong, mate. Maybe where you go and sit around and stuff like that, maybe it's a lot better around there, pal. But I don't know, like, I just remember as well, back when I was a kid, I used to watch like a lot of the Champions League stuff when it was on like ITV and everything like that. And it just, I don't know, it just felt like it was louder. Like, it's all well and good getting up for You'll Never Walk Alone at the beginning. That's like a given. Do you know what I mean? But it's in moments when the team are struggling to get a goal, you need to be the one to be like, well, fucking come on. Like, the crowd only got it up for it when West Ham scored. West Ham scored and everyone was like, oh, shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's what woke them up. But again, is it down to the playing style as well? I have got Martin's voice note to play.
Oh, God.
It's not that bad, to be fair. I've listened to half of it. I'm going to see if I can play it and it'll come through. Do you think it will?
Yeah, I think it will, yeah.
All right. Let me know if it sounds good or not. If it sounds rubbish, I'll stop it.
The way the sphere is today is not, obviously, it's not like what it used to be when we were kids. It's more, obviously, people wanting to take videos for social media. People are not that interested in football. It's all about the likes and views on, they're more interested in taking a video to promote the game instead of enjoying the moment.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and I think that plays part of it, Martin. But the again, you can't put that as a tourist problem, and I think any channel that does that or says that, it's unfounded. It's absolutely unfounded. I mean, I see Irish fans coming in their fucking droves to Anfield, and they're bloody loud and proud, and they go, into pubs, and they're all over Liverpool, and again loud and proud, and I've seen them at Legends gigs that I've been part of, and again, it's the exact same thing. So, and that's just the Irish contingency. But I think it's doing a massive disservice to say the problem is just a tourist problem. It's not. It absolutely isn't.
Do you think as well, and this might be going down a little bit of another rabbit hole as well, but do you think as well some of it's down to like I don't agree that there should be segregating fans into different groups. You're a Liverpool fan, end of the day.
Yeah.
I know like my shtick that I said was basically, the season ticket holders should be the one that lead the way. And it's so I've always kind of been of the opinion that, yeah, we're all Liverpool fans, but I would always suggest the feeling that the people that are from Liverpool are like the soul of the club. Like they're the ones that do it. And I'd say that everybody else is like the heartbeat or the blood that pumps round. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know.
I disagree. I think no matter what way you people want to twist it and look at it and overanalyze and dissect it, Liverpool fans, regardless of where they are the heart and soul of that club, and that's it. And there's not one person on the face of this planet can tell me that I'm any less of a fan than a local, because I'm just not. It's just not. It's just, I may not get to go to as many games. Geographically, it's difficult. Financially, it's difficult. And the way that the tickets are sold, it's next to impossible. So then you've got to look at who's getting the tickets, and then you have to look at the hospitality issue. You have to look at then season ticket holders that are selling their ticket to these companies. Those people should never have a season ticket, and it should be taken from them. Now,
I don't know how you'd police that. I get your point, but I don't know how you'd police that. I also get to Ben's comment here where he says, depends on the game and the occasion. 3 or 5 in the Cop at times has been horrendous. Champions League nights, in my opinion, have been good this year. I agree. I think what I will say is I do think nearly every single game that's under the lights at Anfield has always got a good atmosphere. But I do agree, Champions League stuff. Euro away has been piss poor atmosphere bar the PSG this season. Hey, Ben, what do you think? What do you think that's down to, though, Ben? Again, I know you've put a few comments in, but in your opinion, mate, what do you think is behind that though? Because whenever I've been away, because I've never really get to Anfield, but I get to go to a few away games when I have done in the past. I always think that the away fans are really good, no matter where they're from. Even if it's we get a lot of fans in London at the London games, or whenever I went up to Newcastle, that was a good one, or Sunderland, for instance, that were good when I used to go there, stuff like that. But if you're saying that even the European games away and the away atmospheres have been poor, I don't even know.
Well, I mean,
I would always be of the opinion that the people that travel home and away, and you'll probably shake your head at this, Sean, but you would think that you were one of the hardcore, sing all the time fans. Do you know what I mean? It's your blood. You're traveling up and down the country, traveling all around Europe, supporting your team. You would think that you were one that's going to bring the atmosphere or something. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Am I confused? Am I wrong? Call me out if I'm wrong on that. But
I think you are, because at the end of the day, Adam, whether you're Scouts or whether you're from the back or the other side of the world, you're still capable of singing.
All right then. So why is it then? Why is it then?
Why is it what?
Why is the atmosphere shit at Anfield? And as Ben says, and I'm just guessing by Ben's comments, Ben's been to a fair few games this year, including PSG or whatever. Even he's saying it's shit.
So I'll give you several reasons, and I'll give you several experiences. So
hold on, he's come back. Hold on, mate. Hold on. He's going to send another comment by looks of this. So he says, aways are like clothes shops. You either have to go out of your way to get sorted, or you've built your own card up. Euro aways are always where anyone can go if you know anyone with the criteria. All right, okay. So that makes sense then. Fine, cool.
He's
See what
doing
his
one
next
of
message is when it
two,
comes
so
out.
let's see what his next comment is.
Let's have a look at Scott's while we're waiting for Ben's. It shouldn't be too complicated. Cut the corporate tickets, cut the content creators with the tripods, and get behind the lads. Straight to the point, Scott. Proper Yorkshire lad.
I know, but I mean, he's true in saying that. Now, I'm not too sure whether, content creator or all content creators are too busy with their tripod out. But
I don't even know why they've got room to do that in Anfield. I'm not being funny. Where I was at, I was crammed.
But I mean, but
man.
irrespective of that, if you're there recording other people and their reaction, you're part of the problem. If you have time to do that while watching a game, watch Liverpool, the team you support, if you have time to do that, then that's wrong. You're part of the problem. The main issue, like, I mean, I was over for the Atalanta game, which was essentially ended up being the last European night for Klopp. And Spine Cop 1906 had put a protest where they had no banners in the Cop. And the atmosphere was shocking. And Atalanta fans were singing. I mean, obviously they got a fantastic result, but they were vocal throughout the whole game. And I saw people, and I didn't know whether they were local or from other part of the country or other part of the world, but I saw people leaving the 75th minute. The 75th minute. So again, what you call Ben says people will give their credit.
Yeah, I want to read it in context. We've got all of them. So if we'll go start from the beginning. So we say, away is like a close up. So you either have to go out of your way to get sorted, or you've built your own card up. Euro aways are where anyone can go if you know anyone with the criteria. People will give away their credits in Europe because they can't go or just can't be asked to go. Hence, Milan away this season, people were paying random people who don't support us to take their credit. People are more asked about gaining credits rather than going to the game and supporting the team themselves. There's lads who would do anything to be in their position. Oh, mate, spot on. Didn't know that was going on, but I think that's going to back up Shauno's.
It is because the other thing is, Ben, and you know this better than anybody. Well, just judging from your comments, you're a well clued in guy. But you know that if you were to get a ticket from these hospitality companies, that it doesn't add credit to your account or to your supporters account or whatever. It doesn't add credit. So it doesn't say, well, you've been to this game or you've been to that game, because if you order it through either a supporters group or through a supporters group that is linked or registered with the main supporters group, or if you go with a company, you will not get credit. So that, that's the issue. And then, like I said to you, you will get supporter season ticket holders that are selling their ticket to these companies that are saying, well, right, I'll give you this ticket. And that's why a lot of season ticket holders are not getting their tickets back. You have people that are they lose their ticket and then that's gone. So, I'd love to be a season ticket holder myself personally. I would spend whatever money needed. I'd love to, but it's just not possible. You got to look at the capacity of the stadium as well. The owners are more interested in hospitality and corporate end.
I think that's just a thing in general though. When you go to finals in Champions League or wherever, no matter who gets there, you've got that stand of the team, and then all the middle bit is literally all corporate. But Ben's come back here again. He says, Sean, you're spot on. I have a mate who was a Manc who won 2 tickets for Bologna this season because he won a competition on Bet365.
Yeah, there you go.
Scott says I also think it's modern day issue as well. I go to a lot of lower league football, which traditionally is a great atmosphere, and they are just as bad. I wonder if it's like, I mentioned this a couple of weeks back, and I didn't really go into much detail about it, but I wonder if it is like an attention span thing. I do think, because you remember a couple of years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, FIFA were talking about changing the limits of how long the game's going for, because they think people's time attention span is not going to last. But anyway, Gareth says that he's been a season ticket holder for 9 years and never been able to go away due to credits.
There you go. There you go. I mean, like, so I mean, I think the whole layout of how to get tickets is flawed, absolutely flawed. And I think that certainly does add to it add to the problem. Without a doubt it does. Without a doubt. But I think nowadays, modern day football, and it's across the land, it's not just Liverpool fans. It's every fan. But I mean, it's said that Liverpool has the best atmosphere. But the problem is that I think it's modern day football, and the fans, it's like a conductor. It's like, someone conducting an orchestra. The type of football conducts how the fans are. The fans are reacting to the game, and if the game has been fucked about by bad officiating, which we've had for quite a long time, and bad VAR decisions and biased decisions. I mean, how the fuck, that tackle on McAllister, who was your man that tackled?
Tarkovsky.
Yeah, how the fuck that was not a red card, I'll never know.
Yeah.
How
I think that was on, that was on the thing with Ian Wright in that one. He would talk about. I saw that on social media earlier on. He was saying he don't understand why that was never given as a red straight up.
Because it's biased and it's indecisive. And you'd have seen, the following week that maybe the same tackle would have definitely been a red card. A straight red. But for some fucked up reason, McAllister has had. I mean, if McAllister put in his fucking transfer request, I wouldn't blame him, because they've nearly maimed him a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking kicks to the chest, in the penalty box, not fucking getting a thing. They're literally destroying him. Do you know what I mean? So, I think that overall the atmosphere of all stadiums is not down to the nationality, and anyone that says it, I'm sorry, are fucking racists. That's it. You're fucking racists. And you're anyone that goes on about tickets for the locals only, or worried about tickets for the locals only, are fucking racists. That's it. Accessibility for tickets, the cost of tickets, the way that tickets are sold from the club and other companies is a disgrace, and it's flawed, and it's not giving people the ability or the possibility of adding credits to their account, because it's a lottery system. So that's where the issue lies. And again, like I said, the atmosphere is down to also the rest of the fans. If you've got the fans that are calling out the tourists, so to say, and they're recording them. I've seen a TikTok video, and I swear I don't know how I'm not banned from TikTok, because I wanted to rip this guy's head off. And he's recording these people, taking pictures before the game, taking pictures at halftime, videos, and them, all this sort of shite. And they're enjoying the atmosphere. They're enjoying before the game starts, or after the game, or during halftime. And they're saying this is the reason why the atmosphere is so poor. Well, you're the fucking idiot recording them. What are you fucking doing? You can't fucking clap and start doing this and whatever or singing if you're there recording other fucking people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, true. Got a few comments just to close this topic off with. Ben's back again with United have the best ticketing system regarding away tickets. Have your normal allocation to people with credits. Keep 10% aside for people with ST and 13 plus, and both enter a ballot to see who gets the 10%. That's pretty cool, to be fair. Bourne says generations change football and a whole change every generation. Scott, I also go to a lot of strongman powerlifting shows, both pro and amateur, and I promise you, lads, it's electric atmosphere compared to any match I've been to at any club post-COVID. I've seen them, mate, on your YouTube and on your Instagram and that, and they do look pretty good, to be fair. Miss Guzzi, working class people are priced out these days, 100%, lad, 100%.
Yeah.
Ben, Luton was crazy one last year where there was an allocation of 950 people. People with 19 plus aways had to enter a ballot and were not guaranteed. But live football tickets had several on there for thousands. Fucking hell.
Crazy, isn't it?
LFC Spectre, ever been to an all-Ireland final, Sean? No, nearly 80k goes to Cork Park. Biggest event in Ireland each year.
I've been to Leinster Cup finals. I've been to junior cups and whatnot, junior tournaments and whatever. The atmosphere in Croke Park is incredible. So I'm well used to fucking shouting my mouth off, you know, and at a very young age cursing at a player, and then my father and his friend looking at me like, Sean, you can't fucking say that. But you like singing and shouting and screaming to the point where your voice goes like this. So you know, any Irish man or woman that has been to a GAM match or a hurling match or rugby or whatever are well used to shouting their heads off. There's no two ways about it. But Croke Park is an amazing stadium, and I was very lucky to I didn't do the Anfield abseil as Adam quite abruptly put it in one of his videos there recently. Didn't see him anywhere near it. But
what did I do?
Oh yeah, you were joking about the Legends game, the Sven one, and myself and Brian attempting to do the abseil.
Mate, you'd booked that before I even knew you were doing it, lad. So don't even come at me saying, I went to go do it, but Adam didn't do it. You didn't even tell me you were doing it.
I didn't even see you there. You weren't even there. So, in fairness to myself and Brian, I think Brian did kind of put me off when he was dry wrenching in the background and nearly going weak at the knees, but God bless him. And I was like doing a Bruce Grobler at the fucking edge of the goddamn main stand. And then it didn't help when she was then, hold on a second, and having to fix me goddamn harness when I'm on the edge of the goddamn main stand. So that's where I fucking lost it, and I said I can't do it. But I did do the abseil of Croke Park, which is actually 30 feet higher than the main stand, 130 foot. And I had to climb from the roof onto the scoreboard in the Hogan stand of Croke Park, literally put my leg out, and my other leg, I nearly got my other leg caught, and basically do an abseil. So I did do that. So thank you.
Well done, mate. Anyway, that was a good chat. That I think I will probably cut that out and
do
put it up as a separate thing so people can watch. So I've got timestamps here, so I'll do that after this. So into the last topic then, Sean, that we've got written down, and if anything else pops off, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to read you Virgil van Dijk's quotes because I have done a video on this, but you said you've not watched it, you've not heard it, anything like that.
You're lucky that I've actually put up any videos over the weekend because
So I want to.
Portland broke me.
I want to know what your take. When I read these earlier, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to hear what Sean was going to say about this." So anyway, so these are the quotes from Virgil van Dijk. So this is from a Paul Joyce article as well. So it says, I'm quoting Van Dijk here, right? It should be a big summer. I think the club's plans to make it a big summer. We have to trust the board as a Liverpool connected fan to do the right job. Hopefully the club will be challenging for titles for the next 2 seasons as well.
Where is proof of that, Virgil?
Hold on, I've got more quotes here. If you've got the full shebang here, hold on.
Yeah.
So he says, I think Liverpool should be able to challenge for titles in the upcoming years. Whatever happens in the summers in terms of players going out, players coming in, I think it should be a big summer. I think they are planning to make it a big summer. So we have to all trust the board as a Liverpool connected fan to do the right job. He was basically asked as well, do you think you can improve after this season? He said, I 100% think we can improve. If you take it all the way back to last summer, I didn't have a proper pre-season. You don't have time to work on what the manager really wants in terms of a training camp. This year, there is a training camp and there is time for the team to work on what the manager wants. And I think that will then improve the team, which, to be fair for me, if this is without even a pre-season and let's see what happens next year, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. What's your first thoughts on that then?
I just want to say hello to Paul that's just popped in.
Right there, Paul, mate.
He's well, happy 60th birthday, mate.
Happy birthday, pal.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I'm getting pissed as well. On the end of May, I will be there, thank God. What you call it, Muscusi says, Sean, you would have done the main stand if you had your Spider-Man undies on. I was actually wearing my Wonder Woman G-string, so that's probably what happened. But
go
on. I don't know really what to think of that. That's all a bit of lip service at the end of the day. Like, to me, how many times have we been told that we deserve or we need a big summer? Stevie G, before he left the club, said the same thing of FSG, that we need a big summer, and he had hoped that the owners would back the manager in terms of finances. We have this sell to buy policy, which people kind of make out, oh no, we're self-sustainable. Well, what self-sustainable means is that we're selling players in order to buy players, and that's exactly what it is. It's nothing else. You might want to get rid of Twisted. Whatever. We don't need any of your shit, mate. So, like, do we need a big summer? Absolutely. I could name a few positions that we need filling. Certainly centre back, left back, maybe back up for Bradley. Certainly a number 6, and certainly if we're getting rid of Nunes and Jota, we need 2 to replace them. There's no two ways about that. And possibly, bring a few people back from loan by Chechich, maybe Ben Doak, So, I mean, obviously, as Ben says, Virgil announcement, hopefully this week, definitely done.
Yeah, 100%.
From what I was told, Isaac is happening, and so is Kirkus. Regarding midfield, we need someone who's going to win the ball, a younger Endo. I mean, I don't get the whole Isaac thing. You think that we're going to spend 120 million on a player?
You've seen my transfer video, like.
Yeah, we're not going to spend that.
Kirkez, I reckon, yeah. I would be shocked if Liverpool did not go and try and sign Kirkez.
Yeah.
He's been liking all the social media posts. He's got Szoboszlai, he's like international captain. I would be surprised if that one didn't happen. Isaac, I just think he costs too much money. I really do. I mean, like, I don't know. If you could get him, if they were going to do it, and if they were going to sign him, I'd take him all day. But if I was being realistic, I think it's going to be someone like I've said before, like Sesko or who's that other lad I've mentioned?
I mean, there was other rumors.
Jonathan David. Jonathan David's available on like a free transfer, so because he's an FSG signing written all over him. Gyökeres at Sporting Lisbon, no, maybe not, but I reckon he's probably on that list. Vlahovic, Cunha. I think Cunha's probably a little bit more of a most likely one than Isaac from the Premier League anyway. Possibly João Pedro if he'd been still going, but apparently they want 100 million for him, so that's not going to happen. I have seen a lot of people talking about Hugo Ekitike. He's similar to Benjamin Sesko for me. I don't know, man. I think you're probably looking at most likely like an Ekitike or a Sesko. I think they're more of the ballpark. Cunha, Premier League experience. He's got a release clause of like 60 mil or whatever it is. I could see that one. Jonathan David, free transfer. I could see that one. It depends as well. Like you sell Núñez, you sell Jota, you sell Diaz. I think Chiesa probably sticks around. Liam Delap, yeah, Spectre's on about him as well. Like he's got a 30 million release clause if Ipswich go down, but I wouldn't want to put him as the number 9.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And I get everyone talking about Sesko, Brian, like everyone's saying he's rubbish and stuff. I'm just saying I can see him as an FSG sign. I'm not saying I would go for Sesko, but I could see the FSG data model going for him. Do you know what I mean? I really could. What was the rest of it? Let's have a look what Jen said. So Jen reckons we get Hugo, I'm guessing Ekitike, Hussein for is that the lad from Bournemouth? I think he's going to be a good player. And he's got a release clause as well, at like 50 million or whatever. So you could get him if you pay that off. The thing for me is Hussein has said that he wants to go to Barcelona or not Barcelona, sorry, Real Madrid and play in Spain. So you sign him and you're going to have that hanging over your head the whole time that he's going to end up going there. So maybe not Kirkez yet. Ben, again, from what I was told about Isaac, this was before the Carabao Cup final. They wanted 75 million, which, yeah, that would have been a right steal, lad. Yeah. He wants us. We want him. So definitely one to watch. Wouldn't touch Cunha. Yeah. I've seen people saying that about Cunha as well, like his attitude and everything like that and getting red cards and everything. I can agree with that, to be fair. To a certain extent. I think he'd be a good player, though. I think he reminds me a little bit of Bobby Firmino, but just a little bit more of a hothead. Maybe he's like a Firmino like player and like Suarez mentality. Spectre, Liam Delap, Scott. I've said it a few times. I think it'll be more of a Cunha type forward rather than Isaac. Yeah, Brian Sesko is the tube. Born Delap wants to play for Chelsea. Does he? I'm not saying that one, mate. But if that's true, again, that's the same as like Osherman. Someone was saying to me like, "Why did you go for Osherman?" And I was like, "Because he said he wants to play for Chelsea." Like. Spectre, Rich, Sesko, Ben, Cunha seems like a hothead and a massive attitude problem. Liam Delap is a shout, very good with Prem experience. Sesko could cost more than Isaac. I think Sesko's got a release clause though, mate. I think he's like 70 million or something. He's got like some sort of gentleman's agreement or something daft like that. I might be wrong in what I'm saying, but I think Sesko may be slightly, and especially as well, you've got Jurgen Klopp over there as well as like the head of Red Bull Sporting thing or whatever it is. So it could cut us a deal? Just saying. I don't know.
If you want to do that, Jurgen.
Paul will end up with 3 signings like Jonathan David rather than spending 100 million on Isaac. In all honesty, if we end up losing Jota and Núñez, I would be all over Jonathan David as like a rotational piece or like a backup to come in on a free transfer, 100%. 100%.
I think. Sorry, go on.
And then Spectre says he sees Joel Hatto from Ayak coming in rather than Hussein. Yeah, I mean, he was at that game. He's got his friends with Gravenberch, friends with Van Dijk. I could see it. I mean, he can also play left back as well, can Hatto. So maybe something there as well.
I think if you remember back to when we were saving our shillings for Jude Bellingham,
Right, don't get me started, please don't.
The club came out and said, that we would rather spend that money on a few players rather than just the one player. I think when you have that, the club saying that, you can pretty much write off all these players that you're calling out that are demanding 70 or 100 million. That's not going to happen. And if it is, I'd be very surprised. I'll eat my hat. But yeah.
Well, you did say you were going to apologise if Virgil and Salah didn't sign the contracts and stuff, and that's still not happened. But anyway,
let me get to that.
I've got something sent to me here. Apparently David Ornstein has said that Kerkez is attracting interest from Liverpool, Man City, AC Milan, and Napoli. So maybe I reckon we're in with Kerkez. To be fair, I do. But I ain't going over that Jude Bellingham shit again. Like, it fucking riles me up with the stuff that came out of that, and how the media just absolutely forgot what they'd been saying for years. Don't get me started. I'm going to go off one.
And not one of them have come back and said, yeah, we were wrong. Not one of them. So if anyone wants to put any credibility behind these clickbait merchants, and that's what they are, good luck to you, because I don't. I don't. Even Ornstein. And I mean, explain to me, and you've said it a couple of times, Adam, how in the Lord Jesus does Ornstein come out with all the sources and whatever when James Pearce is meant to be the Liverpool correspondent at the Athletic?
Oh, he's stealing a living, is James Pearce, unfortunately.
What is happening there?
That's that. I don't even know. That. I mean,
and I'm loving it. I'm loving it because I have a history with
Pearce. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Doesn't make sense. Brian says, Cunha, yes, he's quality. It's up to the manager to manage him. We've had that, though, with Balotelli and Suarez to an extent. I don't know.
A leopard doesn't change their spots, Brian. You don't want, and I mean, that's where, like, Klopp and Aubameyang, Klopp didn't go for Aubameyang because he knew what he was going to be like.
What about Klopp and Mamadou Sakho? Got rid of him.
Exactly.
Got rid of him straight away.
You remember that trip, the preseason trip that they had over in the States, and Klopp calling out Sakho for being an hour late or missing the actual plane, and he says that maybe we leave you in Alcatraz, and he was like fuming. This was on Liverpool LFC TV, and then he got rid of him. It's actually in the documentary, the Klopp documentary, which piss poor, to be honest.
Sesko's got a 64 million release clause rumored in this summer. Might be a bit too early for the lap for a big move. Spectre again. Anyone seen Burgerhead Pierce Bird now? He's stealing a living. She was like a supermodel. And then he's laughing at your Klopp voice. Martin's in the bottom. I think he's at work, so I'll bring him in right quick. Right, lad, how you doing?
Hey. All right, boys.
How are you
doing? I've just finished now. I'm in Derbyshire. Oh. So
you got a bit of a drive, haven't you?
Pardon?
You've got a bit of a drive, haven't you?
Oh, mate, I'm looking at the sat nav now. It's an hour and 57 minutes to home. I can't say much apart from fucking gonna be champions. Oh, mate, I had an argument with a customer today. He was going, yeah, but it's only your second title in 35 years. I went, no, it's not. It's
Oh,
your second
fuck.
title in 5 years, you dickhead. He was like, yeah, but you're not like us. We're the first ones to have 20. Fuck off, you mank prick.
Yeah,
So,
but we're on the perch, so go suck a nut.
yeah.
What?
Do you know what? Isn't it? It's going to be nice because you're going to get City, who's going to get relegated. United are fighting a relegation battle. Don't you think Arsenal are going to come a bit like Spurs at the minute? Is going to be a bit arsey on Wednesday, and you get knocked out by Real Madrid?
Oh, I know. Like I was talking to someone at work about that other day, and they were just saying like, "Oh, it's Arsenal are doing well, like the blah 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 blah. Champions League beating Real Madrid." And I was like, "Mate, they'll take them back to Bernabeu and absolutely stuff them."
It's going to kill him. Yeah, honestly,
But I mean, here's the funny thing: is that they were talking about how bad the Premier League has been this season. Arsenal bet Real Madrid 3-0. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, make up your mind. It's only bad when Liverpool are running away with the league, but when
this is the
Arsenal
thing.
do you know what I mean? It's this constant narrative against Liverpool. And
1 second, I'm just turning my mic off a minute. Okay, I'm put the phone down. Yeah, do you know what though? I've been bored this last couple of weeks with it because I know we're gonna win it.
Mm.
It's like I can't wait for us to get that guard of honor, and I really, really hope it's against Chelsea that we get it.
Well, isn't it supposed to be like every team does it?
yes, this is what I was saying to the lads I was over in Cork with, that it is actually every team. So I don't care like who does it first. It would give me the greatest of pleasure for Chelsea to do it, for Arsenal to do it.
I
Man,
prefer it to be United.
like, oh. Well, I mean, I could look. United aren't relevant anymore. I mean, they just aren't. I mean, they're a joke. I mean, Everton are above them. So, I mean, like nobody wants to see like a dinner lady getting sacked or whatever, or a 74-year-old ticket holder, getting refused or having his seat removed or whatever the fuck. But I'm loving what is happening in Old Trafford. Absolutely loving it. And this idea that they're going to build a new stadium, government funded, and it's going to look like a circus tent, 100,000 seater to watch that shite.
He's just been in touch with Gandhi's and asking if he can borrow his shaker's tent.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, but I'm happy that we're going to win it anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like it's. I'm just shame I can't be there for when you both come over because obviously, I've got Sunsea and freaking
Martin
coladas to drink.
Martin, I'd have postponed that if I were you.
No,
I would have postponed that.
I'm going and I'm making sure to get on that airplane because I can't deal with you when you're over, mate. You're a fucking head case.
What do you mean you can't deal with me when I'm over?
You'll take me back to a Chinese buffet where a lot of us were ill the following day.
I was only telling we had a mate over from Liverpool there in Cork with us, and he was talking because I was telling us about because I'm trying to get him to watch the channel and whatnot, and he says one of the lads that comes on he lives in Warrington, does he? Yeah. That city centre's not bad. I says, listen, I went to a Chinese buffet, and I swear to Almighty Jesus, I was nearly hallucinating, like after having the food there. I couldn't. Like, I was in the car with Toby, and we saw this plastic bag, and we're like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's like it's
Right,
not
you
like
stopped for the plastic bag, though. Come on.
he stopped for the plastic bag to cross the road. That's how fucking. But yeah, food coma is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky,
let's
how
get
are
back
you,
to
buddy?
the LFC chat, right? Because I'm gonna have to go in a minute. And I know it's been a long time since I've been on, but now Harley's back at school doing his normal things. You know, I should be able to start coming back in on a Monday now. Because I've missed you all. I really have. I feel like I've distanced myself away from everyone, but I've had so much I've had to do at home. Everything's good at home again now, in case anyone wanted to know. But yeah, I really am looking forward to next season. I really am, and I don't think we're going to spend that much money. But as long as we spend reasonable, I think everyone would be happy, apart from Sean. Maybe just signed contracts and you still fucking bitched.
That's a cheap pop. No. I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I am absolutely.
You did.
Come here to
You
me.
did.
Fucking did, didn't you, Adam?
You did. You did. You had the right old man.
Oh, I haven't got time for you two. I'm not well.
Yeah, you turned around to us and said, "We haven't got time for you, so I'm not feeling well."
Which I wasn't.
Boys, I'm going. I've shit stirred. I'm going now.
Do you know what I mean? It's good.
Fucking shit stirring bastard, that fucking fella. He's fucking dropped the bomb, gone. Pipe bomb. No, I genuinely was not feeling well. I was delighted to hear that Salah had signed. It's amazing that he signed. The fact that he's two extra years at the club. He should really have 3, in my opinion. But he's got 2. He's certainly going to become the second highest goal scorer of in Liverpool. I reckon he'll beat Roger Hunt without a doubt. And it will take 2 seasons for him to do that. He's not going to beat Ian Rush. Just not going to do that. But he is one of the greatest players to ever put on a Liverpool jersey. And I am thrilled that he has signed a contract. I'm not thrilled with the fact that it has dragged out as long as it's had, because I think there's a case of you're playing Russian roulette there, and it could have seriously backfired. And these players, modern day players, have no loyalty to the club, none whatsoever. So I genuinely think we're very lucky that Salah has stayed on and not had a talk with another club in January. I don't believe the fact that there would be no club interested in him. I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, you are right, mate. But I think it would have come to the point where I just don't think Liverpool would let it happen, to be fair. I just don't. And I think if we'd have known, I think if Liverpool had known that other clubs were interested, they'd have done it a lot faster, and it didn't. So I think they were just kind of, well, do you want to go to Saudi? Go to Saudi. So, yeah.
I'm hoping that Salah will stay beyond 2 years bond, because I want to see him play out his career at Liverpool. I think he deserves that.
Well, you saw what I was joking about when when as soon as they signed it, I was like, right, well, they'll be getting sold next year when they can make some money on them.
Exactly, and I said the same thing. I think I says, look, these contracts are only they're not worth the paper it's written on. It's a case where they'll probably be sold in the summer, and there you go. But I hope he stays, and I hope he retires at Liverpool. I really would love that. I'm not too sure if FSG will do that. I'm really not. It all depends on his performance over the next 2 seasons, I think.
Oh my God, sorry, I'm just reading Ricky's comment, and I was just like, what, have we said something wrong? Like, what? Because Ricky just put in the top, he just put, I'm not even Muslim, and I was just like, what got said?
Yeah, I was looking at it,
and then he's finished it off underneath, like, oh God.
That's brilliant.
So what? I hope you're doing well, Ricky, mate. Glad that you could join us. I'm going to cut some bits out and put it up on the channel afterwards, mate, so you won't miss much. An article's come out, Shauna, on The Athletic. And it's funny we were talking about strikers because they've actually gone through a lot of the names I've mentioned and said which club they would be best suited at. So I thought it might be good to go through it right now because I can't be asked doing a video on it. Because there's not much in it, like it's not a video worthy. But I think it's interesting to just get these points out and then people's thoughts in the chat as well as your own. And yes, Ben, you are right, mate. I hope that happens, pal. I hope that happens. So I can't read it all out, guys, because obviously it's behind a paywall. But I've highlighted a few things. So the first one to talk about is Victor Osimhen, and they basically say that they reckon he would be best suited going to either Man City or Man United. Whatever you make of that. Next one up is Victor Gyökeres, and they say that Arsenal would be the completely wrong fit for him, and they reckon that he would be better suited playing for Liverpool in Arne Slot's system. That system suits him better than it would be going to Arsenal. If it had been Jurgen Klopp, they wouldn't have thought that would have been the case. But with it being Arne Slot, they think that Victor Gyökeres could be the perfect striker for Liverpool. They basically say that if you can't afford Alexander Isak, you should go and buy Hugo Ekitike, which is what everybody seems to be saying about that, saying they're very similar in the way they play. But Ekitike is 22 years old. He's got time on his side, along with the raw fundamentals required to become an elite striker. Arsenal and others who would be better served focusing their efforts to sign him and letting Isak just go, basically. They reckon that Liam Delap would be a good fit for Nottingham Forest. Darwin Núñez. A deal including Núñez for one of the Bournemouth defenders, Kerkez or Hussein, would have Liverpool fans most likely shaking hands on that. If Núñez was to truly embrace the chaos with a view to stay in the Premier League, then surely he should look no further than going to Bournemouth. The Areola swashbuckling style is perfectly suited to the 25-year-old's attributes. So maybe that could be on the cards. Would you rather get money or would you rather swap him for a player?
Well, it depends on what money we're looking for. It depends what.
I reckon you get about 30 million for him, 40 million for him.
Well, then I think if you get 30 million, then I would go for a slot. I would go for an exchange or use them as part of a deal because we're already at a loss. You know, I mean, how much is he with all the add-ons and whatever? How much is he working out at of costing us?
I think it's like 85, maybe more than that.
85.
I think if we win the league, it goes up even more. So, yeah. And sticking back to this, I've been saying this since I mentioned this player, and I think Liverpool should go for him. Jonathan David should go to Barcelona, and I've been saying that since I first mentioned him. They reckon that Barcelona could do worse than to bring in Jonathan David and bed him in before Lewandowski's powers eventually dwindle, because he would basically come in and be pretty much a like-for-like fit for Robert Lewandowski. Benjamin Sesko basically saying that because he plays for the RB Salzburg and it's like the Red Bull running system where it's compulsory, he'd be good for any team in the top four. Links with Arsenal do have their place, as Sesko would be able to provide a focal presence at the point of their attack, meeting crosses from wide and acting as a penalty box striker to occupy defenders. Meanwhile, his ability to drop into deeper areas would allow him to foil for the likes of Gabriel Martinelli and SAGA to cut in on the outside. In truth, the same logic could be applied to Liverpool, Chelsea and Man United, all of whom would benefit from a new number 9 on their books, which is precisely what makes Benjamin Sesko such an attractive prospect. The next paragraph, why Liverpool should battle Man United for Matheus Cunha. It basically just says, I'll read this whole thing out to you. It says there's little doubt that Mateus Cunha has been Wolves' talisman this season. Despite having barely played as an out-and-out striker, he's scored 13 goals. Operating as a left-sided number 10, the Brazilian's intelligence to drift into the pockets of space will often mean that all attacking roads go through him, as well as his goal haul. Wolves players have created more open plays chances or generated a higher expected assist tally. Ideally, you would clone Cunha and play both of them, one to craft and one to finish. So yeah, they say that it'd fit into Ruben Amorim's system, but with tactical intelligence he possesses, Cunha alternatively could be Liverpool's new false nine. Bobby Firmino achieved legendary status at Anfield through his ability to drop into the pockets to facilitate wide runners ahead of him, and Cunha has all the attributes to perform a similar role should Slot want to regenerate his front line. So that one's about Cunha. And then they basically all said, if you're after literally a specialist who can just put the ball in the back of the net, most teams in Europe should look no further than Dusan Vlahovic. He's the fifth. He takes the fifth fewest shot. Sorry, let me get this right. He takes the fifth fewest touches of a ball before shooting in the Premier League. The only the only players above him is Haaland, who takes 6.2 touches. The Lazio striker, whose name I can't pronounce, which is why I said that, at 8.1. Another striker at 8.2. Lewandowski 8.3, and Vlahovic is also the same as Lewandowski at 8.3. So they take the less touches per 90 minutes, and I still managed to get shots away and score goals and stuff. So yeah, that's that.
Hold on a second, Adam. I'm just going to check who's at that door.
I didn't even know Sean was having problems then. Let's have a look at some of your comments, guys. Was this a James Pearce article? No, it wasn't, mate.
Whose article was it, can I ask?
It is Mark Carey and Connor O'Neill.
Took two of them to do that.
Yeah. Ricky Sarr thinks Nunes would fit in at Forest. Green Rovers. Ben, Ekitike is a gamble. Bundesliga players aren't known to do well in England. Nunes going to Saudi for 73 million. That gets you Kirkers. Mate, there's no way. If Nunes goes to Saudi Arabia for 70 million, I might just shut this channel down, because that is not happening. Like, I don't for 1 second believe that Saudi Arabia, because it's the country in it, came into Liverpool in January for a player they weren't playing to go, do you want 70 million for him? And then Liverpool were just like, nah, you're all right, lads. No, we'll keep him. Why? You're not playing him. Jadon Danns could have not gone out on loan and done as much as what Nunes has done. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I agree with that last bit where you said there about money only for Kirkers. They won't do a player swap. I get that, mate. Didn't Ekitike sign for Newcastle a couple of seasons ago? Yeah, I think so, mate. I think it wasn't at like some French club. I can't remember where he played. I'm sure it may have come from there, like Saint Etienne or something like that. Might have been something like that. Here's a player that hasn't been mentioned. Could put a cheeky bid in for Duran, who left Villa for Saudi. Wanted first 11 football, young talented forwards. Nah, I can't see that, mate.
You'd be looking for too much money.
Ricky reckons Ollie Watkins would be brilliant for us, but highly unlikely. Age profile, mate. I don't think they'd go for him. Yeah, then Spectre and Bon agree with that. Ricky, the only thing is he's 29, so I don't think we would want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, when is the final for the quiz? My dad was asking. He used to watch me play them everywhere. To be fair, mate, we were actually contemplating bringing it back. So we could bring it back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll work on something.
Yeah. And the final will be after the season's over. We'll get everyone together and try and do it. We might try and pick a Monday. Yeah,
we might do like kind of a special or when it's been announced that we've won the league, or when it's now mathematically impossible for any of us to or for any team to catch us, we might do something as well. But yeah, we'll still do the final. You still have the names of those who are in the final.
Yeah, we've got pretty much. It was pretty much like I think it was like Ricky was in it. We had Gareth Turner. We had Brian. We had I'm pretty sure Muscuzi was in there.
Yeah.
Gavin. Brandon. Yeah, there was a fair. I think I'm missing one. Might have been David Crompton, I think. But yeah, that sounds about right. Does that? Let's catch up on some of these comments before we get gone, mate. Because I can feel my throat going.
Yeah,
Ben would honestly go for Osherman. Bullied Verge a few years back, and he's on a free. He's on a free this year. Proven goal scorer, and it's definitely a handful. Wouldn't be much on wages either. Well, I think if you can get him on cheap wages, I won't knock that. But I just, again, mate, I think I agree with you, mate. Osherman would be a perfect number 9 for Liverpool, but I just don't think they'll do it, mate. I just don't. Sean, I'll make sure you send the answers to Scott. Spectre, there's a Turkey wonder kid playing for Juve. Would be one to watch out for. Was linked with us a few months ago under the Klopp era. I know exactly who you're talking about. Is it like, does his last name begin with a Y? Yeah, Yedlin or something like that. No, I want Yedlin. It's something. I'm sure it's something like a Y or something like that. I know who you're talking about. But anyway, anything further, Shauno, from yourself?
Well, I suppose we might as well address
Yilmaz, that's his name. Yeah.
We might as well address the whole apology thing in
Cool.
terms of the contracts. So, like, I've been kind of up and down the same way as yourself in terms of like who's going to sign, who's not going to sign. I think going back to the whole contract thing, I think it's been badly done from the offset, regardless of what excuses are out there. And we have a group of players that are, you know, at the end of the season are going to be running into the last 12 months of their contracts. And we're going to find that they're going to be in the same boat as Mo, as Trent, as Virgil. And are we willing to play Russian roulette with them? I don't know. Or are we going to get contracts sorted out? I don't know that either. But obviously, I am delighted that Mo is staying. I was not 100% sure if he was. There was a couple of times that I'd say that he was. I think we're all of the opinion that Trent was leaving.
Yeah.
For Trent to leave, and I'm not. You know, I've had time to think about it. I at the time was disagreeing with you in terms of maybe he had a deal set up with Real Madrid that he run down his contract, and then like you told me that Mbappe had done the same. So maybe that's possible. I would be very disappointed that Trent would pick Real Madrid over his boyhood club. That is disappointing.
There's some people that have suggested that maybe, and again, this is not my theory, but I've seen it doing the rounds, that he may have decided to have done this back when Liverpool failed to sign Jude Bellingham.
Well, I put that out there. I absolutely put that out there. Make sure you clip this apology, Adam. I don't apologize for anything I've said unless I've said something where I'm accusing someone in the wrong of something. I have always. What am I apologizing for?
Because I've been saying it for months that both of these are signed, and you're like, no, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't.
No, well, I've kind of changed my opinion the same way as you have over the last number of months.
I've never said that Mo and Virgil would never sign. I said I was umming and ahhing about Trent, but I've always been of the opinion that Salah and Virgil would sign.
I'm pretty sure.
If someone can find a clip, or I've turned around and said that they wouldn't.
That's a dangerous game. Now you're playing.
Now I will play that game. Play that game. Play the game.
No, I mean, look, AKM. Obviously, you know more. So you've got to show up at times and show that that's the reason why that's the name of the channel. So, if you're right and I'm wrong, then I'm happy to be wrong about this, and I'm happy that you're right about this. And fair play to you. And yeah, no happier person than me that I'm wrong and you're right about this. That's so I'm thrilled. It goes back to the whole thing of, well, oh, your FSG out first and a Liverpool fan second. No, I'm not. I just want the best for the club. That's it. And whether that comes in the shape or form of FSG, Linda, or any of them, or anyone, I don't really care. I don't really care. And I mean, Klopp came out with a comment there a few years back that, with Newcastle and City, we all know where the money's coming from. Does anybody care? Absolutely not. And he was dead right. Once the money's coming in, so once they're making the right decisions for the club, that's grand. I'm delighted that it looks very likely that Virgil is signing, because he is the bread and butter of that team. I would like to see Virgil stay on, and I'd like to see Salah as vice captain. I'd like to see him been made vice captain.
I can see that happening.
I definitely can see that happening. And I think Salah would love that, and I think that's probably sweetened the deal. I did hear someone in a pub in Cork saying, when Salah wasn't playing well in the second half, you pay 400,000 for that a week. I mean, look at the bloody records he's hitting. I mean, honest to God, he's had more assists, and he was called selfish. He's been his goal involvement this year, incredible. All right, Craig.
All right, there, Craig, mate. We're getting ready to close off, mate. So, but it'll still be up on the channel, so you can go back and watch it, mate.
But I think that there is rumors that and that it is possible that they are doing a final ditch effort to keep Trent. If they keep Trent, you may get an apology then off me.
I think I don't think so. Me personally, I think we're seeing this Salah and Virgil news because they're getting close to announcing the Trent thing. I think they're going to give us the good news now, get us all that done, and then it's just going to be like, Trent's on his way. That's kind of what I think. But yeah, anyway, thanks for joining me, Sean, tonight, and everyone in the chat. It's been a pretty good stream tonight, guys. I've enjoyed it. Good to be back. I will clip out the atmosphere video and put it up on the channel after this. So let us know what you think about that as well in the comments, guys, on that video. But anyway, hope you all have a good evening wherever you are in the world, and or good afternoon, shall we say, probably, Craig, where you are. And yeah, we'll catch you all later on, guys. Thanks for watching.
And lads and ladies, before you do anything, please check out the Seattle Grunge Experience, or Seattle Grunge EXP, who are on Instagram. They're a fantastic tribute band. They've been going around for 10 years. If you ever get over to Ireland and manage to go to one of their gigs, if you're into the whole Seattle grunge kind of experience, or the scene, they're fantastic. They're one of they are the best tribute band I've ever gone to. So a massive shout out to them, and for one of the guitarists to come out and have a chat with us, because they know we're massive groupies of theirs. We've been to see them in Dublin, in Galway, in Cork there at the weekend, and we're going to be seeing them in May in Dublin. They're really, really amazing. So give them a look up and tell them that Sean sent you. But there you go.
Yeah, nice one. All right then, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next week, and I'll get videos uploaded throughout the course of the week as well. So we'll see you then, guys.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for watching.